If I had to put a name on it, I would say that July was a tentative reading month for me because of the worry about falling into a reading slump again. Everything I read in July, I was on pins and needles, walking on eggshells, trying to make sure that I didn't force myself to read anything or just trying to protect myself from going back into a reading slump. So, what did I actually end up reading in July? Let's start off with Kingdoms of Death, book number 4 in the Sun Eater series. And I'm still going back and forth with whether or not I'm done with the Sun Eater series or if I just push through and keep giving it an opportunity since I've read so many books in the series so far. I ended up giving Kingdoms of Death 3.75 stars because the entire time I was reading the book, the only thing I kept thinking was, I don't care, 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 I don't care. And it was even a good story, and I still don't care. The next book that I read in the month was I Can't Even Think Straight by Dean Atta. And I enjoyed the story. In hindsight, the issues that I had with the story irk me almost a little bit more than my enjoyment of the story. I ended up rating this book 4.25 stars, and I do stick with that rating, and I do recommend this read, but it was a little bit irksome, it was a little bit annoying, and I'm not sure if I want to pick up another book from this author. Dark Age by Pierce Brown. If you are not new here, if you didn't come here 2 minutes ago, then you know that I'm a huge fan of the Red Rising saga, and Dark Age is no exception. However, this is the first book in the series that I've given a 4-star rating. Every single book in the Red Rising series so far, I have given a 5-star rating. And there's something about this that it just didn't give me the 5-star feeling. And to be honest, I can remember a major event from every single one of the books. Well, I can even remember a major event from this book. It just doesn't stick out to me somehow. I don't know. It feels like this book was the book in preparation for the next book, if that makes sense. And I haven't even read the next book yet. It is on the August TBR, so we will see if my intuition is right about that. But there's something, this book feels like a stepping stone kind of book. So let's see about that. But what did I end up rating this? I ended up rating Dark Age 4 stars. Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I finally read this. And in August, I think I will be reading Raven Song because why not? And I love TJ Klune. This is actually the first TJ Klune book that I did not rate 5 stars, but I ended up rating this 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed our characters. I enjoyed the story a lot. This one is a little bit spicy, and in TJ Klune's writing, I really get emotional and I get very attached to his characters. So this book was no exception. There's just something about this that didn't give me the 5-star feeling. Also, if you're new here, a 5-star rating for me comes when a book is so emotionally impactful that I'm left with something afterwards. Whether that something is good or bad, I almost want to say, but when the book is super duper emotionally impactful, or if I cannot stop thinking about the book. For example, the Zodiac Academy is a 5-star series for me, and I remember all of the key events that happened in the Zodiac Academy, and I read that book in February. So I'm still sitting with the emotional impact of that book, or those books, especially what happens, all the stuff that happens to Tori, oh my goodness. The stuff that happens to Darcy, like, oh, all of it. All of it. So Yeah, 5-star books for me. Boys Come First, 5-star book for me. The Deep, 5-star book. You know, these books that are super duper heavily impactful to me. Iron Gold, oh my, 6 stars. 6 stars. Any of these, any of them, 5 stars. Onyx Storm, 5 stars. Fourth Wing, 5-star. You know, these books where I'm completely stuck and I will never stop thinking about these books. Those are the books that get 5-star ratings from me. The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. So I ended up reading the entire trilogy, and you guys, I was so disappointed. The Blade Itself, the first book in the trilogy, I ended up giving it 3 stars. I didn't really have a good time with this at all. I thought calling this a fantasy book in general was really a stretch. Really a stretch. Because, you know, the fantastical elements are so, eh. And the plot in the first book was non-existent. Non-existent. After reading it, I had to read so many reviews, and a lot of the reviews said what I thought. But the positive reviews, and anybody that rates Joe Abercrombie highly, you have to pay attention to what they're talking about. They're always talking about his amazing character work, and I'm not going to say anything different. The character work is really quite good. But if you have no reason to care about why the characters exist and why the characters are doing what they're doing as in plot, then why do you care about the character? It's just like me sitting at the grocery store or standing at the grocery store in line listening to a person's story for hours, and their story has no tea, no drama, no nothing. They're talking about how they want to buy milk. And it's like, why do I care about this? I don't care about this. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. After I read The Blade Itself, I read Before They Are Hanged, and I ended up rating this 3.5 stars. It was a little bit better than the first book because this one actually had a little bit of plot and it had a little bit more magic. But I still didn't care. And then I told myself that I was going to just DNF the rest of the series. But of course I didn't. I ended up reading The Last Argument of Kings, and I ended up rating that 3.75 stars. So each book went up in star rating. But I really feel like The Last Argument of Kings should have been the first book, and the first 2 books could have just not existed. And I still feel that way about it, you know? I think if The Last Argument of Kings was actually the first book, I probably would have really enjoyed this original trilogy. But because I read 3 of Abercrombie's books, I don't really have any desire to pick up anything else written by this author. I really felt like the writing was mediocre at best. Yeah, great character work, but so what? Because I felt like I was about to go into a reading slump, I picked up some MM romances. Starting with book number 1 in the Fake Dating series, because I remember how much I loved Trick Play, which is book number 2 in the Fake Dating series, or Fake Boyfriend series. Fake Boyfriend series. And Fake Out. It was good. I ended up rating this book 4 stars. I ended up rating this book 4 stars, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Trick Play. But I enjoyed Trick Play so much that I did end up continuing in the series, and I'll get to that in a second. After Fake Out, I read Limerence by Scarlett Drake, and I absolutely fell in love. Scarlett Drake's writing was a plus. In the first chapter, I knew that this was going to be a 5-star read, and it did not disappoint. It ended up being a 5-star read. I absolutely loved it. I loved our characters. I have to resist the urge to spend all of my money on Scarlet Drake books at this point. New favorite author for me, new auto by author for me. Love Always Wild by A.M. Johnson, 5 stars. Another new favorite author for me and a new auto by author for me. I ended up reading more books by A.M. Johnson in the month of July, and I don't regret it. Very much don't regret it. Deke. So now we're in book 3 of the Fake Boyfriend series, and I ended up rating Deke 4.5 stars. Really, really enjoyed it. Just didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Trick Play. So I'm in the Fake Boyfriend series. I'm in the vibes. I like Eden Finley's writing, and I'm still searching for that 5-star feeling that I got from Trick Play, and it's not there, but I feel like we're getting closer and closer. I picked up book 2 in the For Him series, so Not So Sincerely Yours by A.M. Johnson, and I enjoyed this. I did not enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Love Always Wild, but I ended up giving this 4.5 stars. Really, really enjoyed it. Our 2 MMCs in this one are the two people that were in love with our couple separately, of course, but the 2 people in our couple from the first book, these are the 2 people that they did not end up with, and they ended up together, and I lived. So absolutely love. You know what? These books are reminding me that I want to read more books by Lita Blake. Yeah, A.M. Johnson is kind of giving me, it's not the same vibe because Lita Blake is a fantasy author, really, truly. And the A.M. Johnson books are just straight up romance and wonderful. But yeah, it's making me want to read more Lita Blake. I want to get back into my Lita Blake bag because the depth, Lita Blake has the depth of A.M. Johnson, but she has the spice of Scarlet Drake. Scarlet Drake's, the spice is out of this world for Scarlet Drake. And Lita Blake has the depth of A.M. Johnson and the spice of Scarlet Drake. So I just want to get back into Lita Blake because there's some other books that I haven't read by this author. So I am missing Lita Blake's writing. Oh. The next book I read, I am scared to talk about it, y'all. It was The Sword of Kagan, and I did not love this. It was okay for me. I ended up rating it 4 stars. I liked the story, but it took me until chapter 10 to get into the story. And the last couple of chapters felt like they were setting up for another book, but we all know that this is a standalone. So the last couple of chapters, I'm like, why is this here? Also, the relationship with the husband was deeply unsatisfying until the very end. Even when there's a shift, it's still unsatisfying for me. So yeah, it's a 4-star book, and I stick with that rating, 4 stars. But as a recommendation, this is a maybe for me. The next book that I read was Terror at the Gates because of a recommendation from Rachel from Raven Hair Reader. There are 2 people who, when they recommend books on BookTube, I am going to read the book. Period. I'm going to read the book. And Terror at the Gates is a recommendation from Raven Hair Reader, who's one of those people. And the second person is Emmy Rossum. Emmy Rossum has not once let me down in terms of recommendation. Rachel, 95, maybe 92% of the time now, has, we've been here 92% of the time. But there, yeah, some of the other, because she really likes When the Moon Hatched, and I could do without that. and she really likes something else that I really don't care for. Like, she absolutely loved the Sword of Kagan, and I don't love that. And this next book was definitely a recommendation that I did not love. It was okay for me, and that's Terror at the Gates, by Scarlett Sinclair. Yeah. And I ended up rating this 3.75 stars. It was good. It was decent. It's a good first installment in a series. And I definitely would read on in the series, but I did not love this. It wasn't a 5-star read for me whatsoever. And also, our female main character, I have to say, she really got on my nerves. She was very whiny and cryy the whole time, and it was really, really annoying. It was really off-putting. And I ended, because she cried so much, it made me not care about her character. Yeah, I think that was really the kicker for me. She was annoying. Really annoying. After Terror at the Gates, I ended up picking up The Wolf King, right? And Emmy Rosa, she loves this, right? And I ended up rating this 4.75 stars. I had a really good time with this. It was really quite enjoyable. It's the typical fantasy romance that you read and you fall in love with. And yeah, I had a good time with it. Gave me very strong ACOTAR vibes, though. Very strong ACOTAR vibes, especially that first book and that second book. Yeah. Yeah, it gave me A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury, like real heavy. And these first two books, very, very heavy. Without it being fae, but with it being wolf shifters, it very much so gave me those two. And if you've read this, tell me if you felt that same kind of thing, but it very much that. But this is one of my favorite series of all time. So, I'm not mad at it, but it definitely gave that. The second book, The Night Prince, I ended up rating that 4.5 stars. I had a really, really good time with it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. I cannot wait for the third book. Emmy Rossum did not let me down. Because, you side-eye people when you read their recommendation and it's like traumatizingly bad, So, yeah, Emmy Rossum did not let me down. So, thank you, girl. The last book that I read in the month was book number 3 in the For Him series, Dear Mr. Brody. I had a good time with this. This is my least favorite book in the series so far. I ended up rating this 4 stars, but it was a good time. It was a good time overall, and I am going to continue to read in the series. I really, really like the series. And it's very bookish. And I love reading books that talk about bookish things. Like, there's something that's just a little bit tongue-in-cheek about the whole thing. And I really, really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw, what you heard. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Ciao.